Quick fun fact. Out of the 50 U.S. states, well, 52 if you include D.C. and Puerto Rico, 21 of those states and territories have one NBA team. Now, that geographical breakdown is how we determine the Eastern and Western conferences. Now, subsequently, that's how we also determine the 6 divisions. And within those divisions, well, you have a lot of drama. We got a lot of news. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of content, bro. All right. So, you're watching your favorite show, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Trey. So let's tune in and see what NBA division we're going to talk about today. The Indiana Pacers are currently 7th in the East. Now, when you're looking at this squad, right, they did go up against my Lakers in the in-season tournament championship, all right? Now, the thing is, though, I know a lot of players, a lot of people, these fans are saying, hey, they got a shot at going to the finals. Hey, it's possible. You know what I'm saying? Like, the probability is extremely low. So maybe possible is not the word. It's probable. Anything's possible, I guess. I wouldn't put my money on it. Reason why in-season tournament, it's a little bit different than playoffs. Think of in-season tournament like March Madness. You got one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. Shout out to Eminem. But when I'm looking at the in-season tournament, it's literally a lucky shot. Like, you got one game to beat this one team. And anybody can win one game. Shout out to the Pistons. But the Pacers, they made enough production out of what they were given. I just think they're not set up for success this season. So I'm not expecting to see them going forward to the playoffs. That's why I don't really put much stock in the in-season tournament. It's cool, keeps folks captivated, not really showing or proving me much. So it's a nice little test, nice little theory. Pacers this season, I do expect for them to get to the playoffs. I do expect for them to be like the Kings last season, maybe not as high seeded. But remember, too, though, the Kings had a little bit more help injury-wise than the Pacers do, because East is actually rather healthy this season. So, again, I think the Pacers, they're about where they should be. Expect them to be like a first-round exit, a tough first-round exit, though. But next season, that's really when you start putting some eyes on them and see exactly what they look like. But Pacers, no disrespect. Shout out to y'all for the in-season tournament. We did beat that tail, but I do expect y'all to be a future team, not a current team. The Detroit Pistons are dead last in the NBA. Like, record-wise, they got one more win than my Panthers do. And my Panthers are like 2 and something. You know what I mean? Like, that's terrible. And there are only like 18 games in the NFL schedule. There's 82 in the NBA. They ain't played all of them yet, but they've at least played over 25, and all they've been able to get is 3 wins. That's terrible. And to keep it honest with you, it really was 2 less than 24 hours ago, at least on this recording, because they just beat the Raptors. And mind you, the Raptors just lost to the Celtics, and it was an emotional loss. So I kind of expected the Pistons to win this game. Mind you, there are some things to point out that are good, right? Like, for example, Cade, he's coming along. I do like Asar Thompson's almost double-double production in limited minutes. And he's not even being utilized properly also. So that's something well to point out too. Killian Hayes, he's been getting a lot of slander. Maybe not the best point guard, right? But his assist-to-turnover ratio is pretty smooth. So, he's giving me a 3.7 assist-to-turnover ratio. That means for every 3.7 assists, he gets 1 turnover. I like that. Because pairing them with Cade then and Asar Thompson, that's a good look. You need to be able to cut down on turnovers. You also need to be able to score too. So, Killian, I'm looking at you to do that a little bit better on that part. But I do like some of the things that the Pistons are doing. Also, Jalen Duren, when he's playing, hey, the brother can play. He's on my fantasy team. He's been producing pretty well, and I've been impressed on the playmaking part of his game. So, for this Pistons team, look, 28 games, that's trash, all right? Y'all can never have that again, respectfully. But I think this is also a good lesson learned for this team. They're humbled now, and I think the kids are going to show, hey, it's not really us, It's the coaches. Because I got questions to the coaches. Like, why in the world is Joe Harris not playing many minutes? How come James Wiseman can't get no more tick? Same with Marvin Bagley. There's a lot of question marks I got for the Detroit Pistons. But at least they won a game. And I think they're showcasing that, you know what, their core that I was telling y'all about at the beginning of the season is intact. And they're going to be solid for the future. So Detroit, hope y'all start winning some more games, man. And start helping me out in my parlays, please. The Cleveland Cavaliers are 6th in the Eastern Conference. And I got to be honest, I'm not overly surprised they 6th. Like, I'm trying to figure out where I had them ranked at the beginning of the season, keeping a stack with you. They're not really that well constructed right now. Don't get me wrong. They got good pieces. They just not well constructed right now. I told y'all they ain't got really a title window. Or if they do, it's a little low. It's a little low. But I got to wonder now, because I don't believe in Donovan Mitchell as the star to get you to the championship, to the finals, especially on this team. So I got to look at Darius Garland and Evan Mobley and wonder, what do I have in a duo like this? Like, what's their potential? Because I thought Darius Garland could be one of the best point guards, at least one of the best playmaking point guards, pure point guards in the NBA. Still, I do believe that, but he's slipping a little bit for me. And then Evan Mobley. Hey, I thought, buddy, you might be able to be a solid scorer, versatile forward even, who can rim protect, maybe even like a low-budget 2.0 KD. When I say 2.0, that's not only KD, that's on the low-budget side. But give you that sort of vibe, but maybe a little bit more defense. And I'm not seeing the offensive bag the way I really want to. You can score. It's not really a skilled level type score, if you get me. And I need to see, especially because you're slender framed, you're not punishing nobody down on the block. So I'm wondering what's that duo looking like potential wise. I think it still has a shot at being a decent, pairing. But what I'm looking at is possibly some third options on a championship team, which ain't bad, by the way. Everybody loves the third option. You just got to do your role. But Darius Garland, I used to think maybe you're a definitive 2 option. Evan Mobley, I thought you had a shot at the first. I'm dropping y'all a little bit. So y'all got to prove me wrong that y'all aren't just third options. Because if y'all keep at this pace, we might have to say, daggone, maybe they 4th options. So again, Cavs, title window. But on the bright side, I don't put as much blame on Donovan Mitchell no more. He's still shaky though. But again, I clarify that also. Just as the star getting you to the championship. Good player. Good player. But supporting cast, it could be a little troublesome. Could be a little woey. So let's see what happens this year. Hopefully they're healthier too. But we'll see what happens with the Cavs. The Chicago Bulls are 10th in the Eastern Conference. Wow. I thought they needed to blow it up early on. Ain't that crazy? But the Chicago Bulls might actually get Lonzo Ball back. And you might be wondering why I'm so happy right now. That's because my team drafted him. And I've really been sad that he's been missing so much time. Messed up his knee. I'm really hoping my boy comes back. But I was wondering, you know what? Bulls fans, should you wonder if it's Lonzo Ball versus Kobe White when he returns? Because we know Zach LaVine might be gone by the time Lonzo comes back, right? But there could be a world, right? There could be a world where Lonzo Ball and Kobe White both are starting and actually, wait for it, getting a bucket for the Chicago Bulls. I remember Kobe White when he was at UNC, boo, right? Because I'm a Duke fan. But Kobe was actually hooping. Now, he did some stupid stuff from here and there, but he was a freshman at the time. Freshmen do stupid stuff. So, when I'm looking at now, Kobe White, well, he seems to be maturing as a basketball player. Lonzo Ball, well, hey, we know what Lonzo do. Defense, playmaking, and, get this, 3-point shooting. I think that can actually coexist. I think those two players can coexist on the Bulls team. So when I'm looking at Chicago Bulls, initially I was saying maybe y'all should consider rebuilding. I might be scaling that back a little bit because it all depended on Lonzo anyways. Like this team, remember when it was Lonzo, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic, and Patrick Williams as your starting five? That could go down as one of the biggest what-if teams. Because remember, when that team was healthy, them boys were getting the bucket and then some. So I think going forward, Kobe White and Lonzo Ball, that could be a backcourt that could look decent. We might be able to see something shake. Both of them 6'5 plus. That could work out. So Bulls fans, if everything comes out, if Lonzo comes back healthy especially, could be something to work with. You might not be, I might have been too bullish on y'all earlier. The Milwaukee Bucks are currently second in the East and third in the NBA. But my question is, well, have they done enough to keep Giannis home? Have they done enough to make sure that Giannis wants to stay long term? You might be saying trade. They've already signed a man for 3 seasons. I hear you. Follow me though. Dame's there for 2 seasons. So 2 more seasons. So if they don't win this season or next season, is Giannis really going to want to stay with the Milwaukee Bucks? Because that means everybody on the roster point in time is going to be 2 years older. That means everybody's production is going to slip and regress. Think about it. The perimeter defense is not what it used to be. They got rid of Drew Holiday. They got rid of Grayson Allen. Both, mind you, have been balling. Now they got to rely on Damian Lillard, who's never really been known as a defender on the perimeter end. And mind you, yeah, he bring in 25 points a game, but they need somebody to lock down on the defensive end. Wesley Matthews, you cool. You got some quality players out there to possibly help out, but I don't know if it's going to be enough defensively on the perimeter play. So I think that's one area that we might say Giannis might look at the Bucks and want to skedaddle. That might help Giannis want to skedaddle. Because again, I think that's the part that the Bucks are going to struggle with this season, especially come postseason time. But hey, we'll see if they've done enough thus far. Because right now, I still feel like they're trying to figure it out. And again, I said they are the 2 seed in the East and 3 in the NBA. That ain't bad. So I can't be too mad at them. They got a shot at winning this season and potentially next if everyone's healthy. But I still gotta wonder. I'm still wondering, is it enough for Giannis to stay long term? Will he be a lifer with the Bucks? It's looking a little shaky.
Need a gift idea for a sports fan? Maybe you think it's best to go online and find something. Well, come on down to the HCB Collections, where there's history in a time capsule. Sports memorabilia of your favorite athletes of all sports. HCB Collections is here to make sure you're able to get the memorabilia you desire. Partnering with local collectors, HCB Collection can easily connect you to the item you need. HCB even offers prizes.
Or Colt.
I'm trying for Colts.
Darius Leonard.
Okay,
I'll take that. Nice hit.
So come hang with your favorite collector. HCB is open 24/7. So looking for the right gift? Or maybe looking for yourself? HCB Collections is the place for you.
The Charlotte Hornets are currently 13th in the Eastern Conference. But again, did you really expect too much better? Because I daggone sure didn't. I thought they was going to be retooling. You got LaMelo Ball. You just drafted Brandon Miller with the 3rd pick. You got Mark Williams last year. You know what I'm saying? Miles Bridges had his whole issues. You do have some talented players like Terry Rozier and then PJ Washington, Gordon Hayward. Like, you got some boys, right? All right, cool. It's a little disorganized over there in Charlotte. And I think you got to start worrying about the future. Well, not worrying about like you're scared, but thinking about preparing for the future because you actually could turn it around. Let's talk about it, shall we? So I think outside of LaMelo Ball, obviously, you have your best young assets are Mark Williams and Brandon Miller, who you just drafted over the last 2 years. Mark Williams, I'm biased about this one, but you know, a big man came out of Duke, so you know he come from good stock, right? And then you got Brandon Miller out of Alabama, who you just drafted. Well, who's also a wing, a scoring-minded wing, who apparently is a really good athlete. Like, you can't really skimp on that. Well, when you look at Mark, you might be able to, because he's supposed to be a pretty good athlete, his daggone self, and rim protector. Which asset is going to be second up to LaMelo Ball? Is it going to be Mark Williams? Is this going to be a James Harden and Clint Capella type situation, big man and a guard type? Or is this going to be maybe a guard and a wing? Because at 6'7" and then 6'9", LaMelo and Brandon Miller, that could be a solid little combo. So I'm interested which duo is going to emerge. But I got to say, for Mark, I need to see you improve your blocks a little bit. Like, in college, I remember you doing well against Chet Holmgren, who right now is for Rookie of the Year, possible DPOY. Chet's averaging 2.7 blocks. You give him 1.1. I understand he came there a year early still. No, y'all came in the same year. So you have no excuse. Improve your blocks, because that's what we need to see. I would love to say scoring as well, but that's also contingent upon the guards. With Brandon Miller, I ain't gonna hold you. You're kind of outperforming my expectations right now. So for me, I just want to see you improve your activity, especially on the defensive end. You're too good of an athlete to not be an elite defender. And I know you're not strong enough yet. That'll come. But I want to see a little bit more activity on the defensive end. And really just overall, too, help out with the rebounds when you can. But that's what I'm looking to see from these boys. I might want to lean Brandon, but I'm biasly going to say Mark right now for who's going to be runner-up. But again, Brandon Miller, you've been outperforming my expectations, so I got to give my tip of the cap to you. But the Charlotte Hornets, though, hey, with the right moves, these boys could be on their way to looking all right. But let's follow it, though. Let's see what it's shaking like. The Orlando Magic are 4th in the Eastern Conference. 4th? Hey, yo, what? I remember when Paolo got drafted, right? I said, well, you gotta wait on these boys for about 2 to 3 seasons. And well, we a little early. Because I said that, again, he got drafted last year, ladies and gentlemen. So, well, if we're a little early, where should we be expecting these Orlando Magic to actually fall in the playoffs? Because they're going to get to the playoffs now. I know the Jazz last year might be having y'all a little worried. No. This Magic team, they're going to get to the playoffs. They got the depth. They got the talent. I think they're good enough to get there. First round exit? It looks like it. But they've also been doing pretty well against the top tier teams. Look at the Celtics, a top team not a top. Record-wise, the top. And the Magic have been beating the Celtics. Like, it's wild. So, again, they could sneak into that second round and help some other teams out if they face a team like the Celtics, because they match up really well against them. But I'm expecting a first-round exit. Unless they go up against a team like, well, I don't know, the Cavs, the Pacers, they can be, you know, like the 5 through 8s. That's what I'm expecting from the Magic this season. But, again, I said it when they first drafted Paolo, 2 to 3, and well, we a little year early. So maybe they mess up my predictions and go to the Eastern Conference Finals. Who knows? But again, I'm assuming first round. But let's see what happens with the Magic. They have a young, entertaining team right now. Could be a team of the future to watch out for. Yeah. And also, I'm curious to see what the lessons learned for from this season will be. Because, you know, again, a good young team, they're going to make mistakes. So I'm excited as hell to see what these boys do come playoffs and next season. The Miami Heat are currently 5th in the Eastern Conference. And, well, their big three ain't doing that bad, I got to say. Especially when you think about the injuries that have been happening. Well, they all right. They cool. They team. They looking kind of surprising, right? They got some solid, like Jaime Jaquez Jr. Hey, he might be replacing Triple J as the new Triple J, because he's been doing his thing this year, and only as a rookie. That's kind of smooth. But I don't want to focus on them, the team. I want to focus on the coach. Eric Spoelstra, is he the best coach in the NBA? Yes, you have a good team to boot. But when you put this team talent-wise compared to the other teams in the NBA, they're not the top-tier teams. But this Heat team could actually, and I want to choose my words carefully, they could actually go back to the finals this year. I don't know if I'm going to say, I don't know if I want to put down my money right here. But there's a good chance that this Heat team, if they're healthy, could sneak into the finals. Because, well, Tyler Hero, he's been producing. Bam, like I said, the trio has been producing, right? And Jimmy has not had to be Jimmy Jeffrey Jordan. But it's also the schemes that Eric Spoelstra's been doing. Like, bro has actually decided to go zone against teams like the Warriors, which, yeah, the Warriors are struggling. But a team like the Warriors should be able to eat up a zone. So clearly he's tweaking the zones for NBA talent. Shutting down Steph and Clay? That's top notch. So again, Eric Spoelstra, yeah, you have a good team. But bro, hey, you're a good scheme as well. You're a good schemer as well. So I got to tip my cap to the Heat because from top to bottom, them boys are looking all right. And that's why I say don't sleep on the Heat potentially getting back to the NBA Finals this season, at least as of right now. All right, so look, the Washington Wizards are 14th in the East. Ooh. Are you really surprised, though? I mean, they stars are Kyle Kuzma and Jordan Poole, respectfully. And I'm not trying to say, oh, they're trash. Some of y'all might say that. But I'm not trying to say they trash. I just think they're young. Kyle Kuzma has been improving, actually. And Jordan Poole, despite what y'all believe, I think he's actually showing a little bit more promise and improvement than what we've been seeing. And especially if you've been following social media, right? But you got to start wondering, are these players trade-worthy or keepable? And I think you might end up trading these boys. Because, well, Kuz, you're actually getting a lot of attention right now. People are saying that you have been taking a little bit more onus in terms of your game. You're still a little streaky, but you're still a 20-point-per-game scorer who can bring in about 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Kind of versatile. Would love to see you on the defensive end. But, hey, I think a lot of teams in the NBA could use that. My only issue with you ever was your work ethic, which we highlighted last year. Seems like you might have improved that a little bit. So you're maturing. That's a quality tradable asset right there, the Wizards. So again, that's someone you could actually trade if you're trying to worry about a team for the future, which I think y'all should be doing. Jordan Poole. I don't know if you can trade that brother just yet. Because he still comes off as a little bit immature, which I get it. He's still young, right? But would a lot of teams want to work with that? I don't know. Again, he has talent, right? We've seen the highlights. We know he's dropped a couple 30 burgers, but again, the inconsistency is what is the eye-popping thing. So for Kyle Kuzma, if I had to trade him to some team and Jordan Poole to some team, I ain't gonna lie, I would actually like to see both go to the Heat or the Spurs. The structure, the professionalism they have for those organizations, I don't think they go outside of that realm. And that would be good for them, for their careers at least. Now, if they rebel against that, then it wouldn't be. But those are two situations where I think they both could thrive. And again, we've seen Jordan Poole in a professional situation. It might not be as fun as the Heat or the Spurs. Maybe the Heat's more so than the Spurs. But you at least got that tutelage there to help out. So if I'm the Wizards, I'm looking to see what players I can, kind of snag from those two teams if I'm looking to help out with Kyle Kuzma and Jordan Poole's development. But they also got some pieces over there too that you can flip for Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma, and that ain't that bad either. But that's my thoughts though. Wizards, y'all do have some tradable assets. It's really just the timing purposes. It's really just the timing of it, like honestly. The Atlanta Hawks are currently 11th in the East right now. And I got to say this, bro. We got to look at who the top complementary players to Trae Young. Reason why Trae Young's the engine that keeps the train rolling. Well, he got to have a solid support, right? So when I'm looking at the players, I got to start it off with Clint Capella. Now, here's my thing. Clint, you're a top complimentary player, fella. You got to improve your blocks just a little bit for me. You give him about 1.7. I would love to see you get that into 2s. You know what I mean? There's a couple players in the NBA who are doing that. Nicholas Claxton, I think you can rival Nicholas Claxton on the defensive end. But he giving me about 2 and some change. I can't make a good enough case for you outside of history. So again, I need you to help out. Jalen Johnson, look, I like Jalen. He came from Duke. I got some issues with him personally, but I got to rock with my boys still. So, Jalen, athletic forward who's versatile. You can't be wrong with athletes in the NBA. And pairing that with Trae Young, too, someone who's pass happy, you're going to see a couple alley-oops from Jalen Johnson. Not to mention he can attack. Remember, Jalen Johnson was quite a highly touted recruit in high school. So, if we can get that into the NBA, I think we good. I think it's just from a timing perspective, it's a little too young right now. But again, a top complimentary player for me, because I think the boy's getting about 14 points a game. That ain't bad, especially when he's just trying to figure it out still. We also got DeAndre Hunter, who is, a stockier forward, right? So he can guard those bigger fours. And he give me 40% from three, because you got to go small ball with this lineup. That's what I'm looking at. Because I don't see any bigs on the team unless you want to throw a Nneka Okongwu. But I don't think he's outplayed DeAndre Hunter, especially if DeAndre is shooting 40% from the Tracy ball. Now, if that dips, we can talk about throwing Nneka Okongwu into that mix. But DeAndre Hunter, I like him there. Plus, he can score pretty decently. Playmaking, I might want to see you improve that, because you about 1.4 assists to 1.5 turnovers. No, I don't like that at all, DeAndre. You got to show your playmaking a little bit better. At least get a 1-to-1 ratio, bro. So just improve that a little bit. And then, finally, I got to save this guy for last. DeJounte Murray. I got to save you for last just because it could go one of two ways, right? If Trae Young continues to hit the Tracy ball the way he's been doing, cool. You're a top complimentary player because you're bringing in 20 points a game. Plus, you can make the hell out of the ball, and you can defend. If not, you and Trae Young kind of clash a little bit. Y'all games kind of overlap in terms of your roles. So, again, I like this version of Trae Young paired with DeJounte Murray, which is why I told you guys, if Trae Young can be better off ball, can shoot three a little bit better, more efficient, we're good to go. And that's what's been happening thus far, at least over this last month. So, let's see if that continues to happen, ladies and gentlemen. But Trae Young, you got to continue to do what you've been doing for these complimentary players, quote unquote, to help you out. So let's see what the Hawks continue to do, ladies and gentlemen.
Swanky's Construction serves as a general contractor in the metropolitan DC area. We're a team of certified professionals who tackle everything from complex large projects to smaller scale jobs. Fueled by our commitment to excellence, we go the extra mile to make sure clients are completely satisfied with our work. Swanky's Construction takes pride in ensuring our clients' home improvement needs are met with efficiency, precision, and perfection. Call us today. You're only seconds away from a consultation or in-person walkthrough.
Do you imagine yourself on the basketball court? Why just imagine? Scared someone will see you miss? Or maybe you're just scared people will laugh at you. Well, here's a quick solution. Work out. Wait. Work out with Walt. Like a magician, Walt can help make sure the people around you go from laughing to clapping if you follow his direction. There's no greater Walt than Walt. Your game will definitely improve. So remember, it's okay to miss a shot. No one makes them all. But if you focus on your mechanics, Walt can help you get a bucket. The Toronto Raptors are currently 12th in the Eastern Conference. And all right, bro, I got to say first and foremost, quick little soapbox point. Y'all messing up too many daggone parlays of mine, bro. I really think y'all too good to be sitting at the 12th spot. That's just me. But I get it, and that's why y'all might have made that trade. Because y'all got in R.J. Barrett now, which don't get me wrong, it's not like R.J. Barrett should take y'all over the top this season. But I can see how R.J. Barrett paired with Scotty Barnes, who has been taking that next leap, well, that could bring you something interesting. Then you got, Pascal Siakam. We got to talk about Pascal. Because where does RJ, Scotty, and Pascal fit as a trio amongst the NBA? Pascal could be on the way out, ladies and gentlemen. Because that RJ Barrett trade, I need a little bit more spacing. Because, again, RJ and Scotty Barnes are two players who attack the basket a lot. So this Toronto team, do I expect them to make the playoffs this season with this trade? Losing someone like OG Anunoby, who's more of a improvement for your team right now. If you want to talk about the future, that's a different discussion. Right now, I think he might help you out. But who knows? Maybe RJ can help out with the playmaking, the point guard slot, which Dennis Schroeder has been doing pretty well. But you could also bring Dennis Schroeder off the bench now if you wanted to and have, well, Gary and Dennis running the bench. Or, I mean, something a little slight like that. Like Dennis can run the whole second unit. And he's been hooping this year too. Or RJ can be the small forward or the two guard, whatever the case may be. So they have a lot of options to choose from if they want to. I'm just saying, with RJ on this team, I think it means Pascal's going to be out. So I ain't too mad at the Raptors pickup. You got two forwards going forward. Two quality forwards going forward. But you got to make the right moves going forward as well. So Raptors, spotlight on you. I ain't really focused on y'all going to the playoffs this year because of this move. The Brooklyn Nets are, well, currently 9th in the East. And I got to ask, are they underachieving, right? Underperforming? Or are they right on track? Because I said that the Brooklyn Nets can actually be a dark horse in this Eastern Conference. And when I say dark horse, I meant like they have a shot, a possibility at getting to the Eastern Conference. I said the Eastern Conference, all right? Daggone, stop bugging me. Listen, they have enough talent to do so. You can talk about the execution, I hear that. And when I'm looking at the squad, yeah, Cam Thomas leading your team in scoring, he cool. But I got to look at Mikal Bridges. Because I was looking at you as all NBA caliber. And I get it. You're not the top tier scorer like a Luka Doncic or a D Book. You know what I'm saying? But you still a good enough scorer to beat out Cam Thomas. And Cam Thomas is good. Don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen. This man dropped off 340 burgers like it was nothing real casual. So again, Cam Thomas is a good player. I just like to see Mikal Bridges be able to outscore him and still keep up his production on the defensive end and increase just a little bit on playmaking. I had all NBA expectations for Mikal Bridges. So again, for me, he can still get there. He can still get there. It's a long season. Somebody can get injured too on top of that to help out his chances. But I need to see a little bit more from the Brooklyn Nets. But I'm not going to slander them, though, because like I said, they could be right on track. And they might be, because I thought they might be at least playoff, play-in area-ish. So, for me, they're right on track. Just saying. The New York Knicks have been, I wouldn't say disappointing, but for me, they've been right spot on. Let's talk about it. Because I said they're going to dip to probably that 8th seed. And lo and behold, at least point in time right now, they at that 8th seed in the East. So, with that being said, what are some of their flaws right now? You got to start wondering because, well, last year they went pretty far in the playoffs. This year, well, it's looking like they might not go too far, especially if they have to go up against the Celtics or the Bucks. The Heat, you know what I'm saying? The 76ers, those could be tough teams to go up against. Which actually, now I think about it, that's the top 4, so damn. But, again, the Knicks, like I said, what's their flaws? Well, I think perimeter defense has been one of their flaws, as well as scoring. Yep, I said it, perimeter defense and scoring. They got Jalen Brunson, that's cool. They got Julius Randle, that's straight. I think interior-wise, they good enough. For me, I ain't like the perimeter defense. When I'm looking at the roster, you know, DiVincenzo's cool, Josh Hart is straight. They have not been performing at the level that I want. That's at least at the forward position defensively. That's why they ended up bringing in OG Anunoby. So with this acquisition now, I will be curious to see if the Knicks vault up a little bit more in the Eastern Conference. It's still early. We're over a little bit over 25% of the games in the season. So the Knicks do have a chance to change my prediction a little bit. But again, OG was not on that team, so I could see them sneaking in to that 5th, 6th seed. But we got to see how they all shake out. But again, Knicks, I think perimeter defense, especially at the forward spot, was y'all flaws. And y'all definitely did address that right now. Again, title window, though, could be a little low. But let's see what happens. It's a long season, right? The Philadelphia 76ers are 3rd in the Eastern Conference right now. And I got to ask, because this really is a question. What stakes would you want to put on Embiid and Maxey being the future of the Philadelphia 76ers. Reason why I asked that. Well, you got to worry still about Joel Embiid's health. You got to remember, throughout his entire career, he has been injury prone over the last couple years. This one and the last year, he's been healthy. So let's fingers crossed we stay that way. But in the off chance that he don't, Maxey, he's playing at an all-star level. Kind of dipped just a little bit. So again, 76ers fans, I'm wondering for you guys, yeah, y'all looking good right now. But going forward, thinking the future, how well is this duo going to be for y'all? Personally, I have trepidations, and I don't think it's too foolish to trade Joel Embiid right now. Again, looking at him about 30 years old, hooping his ass off. But injuries do happen, and he has been one of the faces of that program in the NBA. So, I mean, again, y'all hooping right now. Fingers crossed, and I'm wrong, and he stay healthy for the rest of his career, just like every NBA player. Does it really happen, though? Big men like that, too, and he's not the most in shape. So we'll see what happens. But, again, talented, yes, right now, future-wise, we going to see what happens. The Boston Celtics are in their prime years right now. And I told y'all that last time. And it's showing. They're number one in the NBA. Let me repeat that. No remix. They're number one in the NBA, bro. It's crazy. And as a Laker fan, it doesn't really make me too good, right? It doesn't make me feel too well. But again, knowing that they got Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, that does help them out for their future. Not to mention Kristaps Porzingis. The boy has been hooping and has, most importantly, been healthy. And can we give a shout out to Derek White right fast? Because he's playing at an all-star level. Some might try to say, oh, he's giving that Andrew Wiggins all-star level. No, man. Derek White has actually been able to earn this all-star nod if he gets it similarly to how Andrew Wiggins did that year as well. But my thing is this. They're in the prime years. They're number one in the NBA. When it's all said and done, will they actually keep their execution? Because we have seen them be a little tricky come playoff times. We have seen situations where JT don't show up, or maybe JB don't show up. Maybe JB's left hand still ain't really good yet. Maybe JT's not as aggressive as we want to see. So again, I'm looking at the execution. Again, we know the talent's there. We know they're arguably the team to beat, or worst case, one of the teams to beat in the NBA. So I want to see if that execution is there. And again, that pressure starts because, well, these are the prime years, and we got to really pay attention to that because this is the defining moments of their legacy. So again, the prime years for the Boston Celtics are here. They're number one. Let's see what happens as the season continues to go forward.
Sports is one of the few things that genuinely connects us together. Whether with coworkers, friends, family, we all love the entertainment. Well, here on Get a Bucket, my goal is to talk about sports and its cultural impact. The WNBA, for example. The WNBA is loads of entertainment, from the new rookies battling, displaying their skill sets, and preparing to take the league by storm, to the Titans and the MVPs of the league clashing for battles we'll always remember. From imagining the soon-to-be possibilities, to admiring and treasuring the finales. Get a Bucket is a platform where other sports analysts, hoopers, coaches, and fans of the show come and talk about the WNBA, both negatives and positives. So if you haven't, take a quick peek. At the very least, you'll have a good time. Remember, sports is one of the few things that genuinely connects us together. So please, tune in and stay connected.
Didn't I tell you there was drama? Didn't I tell you there was news? Didn't I tell your ass you were going to like it? Like, bro, there's so much to talk about within the divisions. Like, it's crazy. But don't worry, though. We will definitely have more to talk about. There's so much more to talk about. So don't be upset. But look, please continue to support the page. You know, like, subscribe, comment, tell anyone about the show. My name is Trey. I'm the host of your favorite show's favorite show, Get a Bucket. Hope you all have a good one. Take care.
I did not know you guys were still here. As you can see, we're at the back end of the show. No pun intended, but look, hope you all enjoyed it. And before you go, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the IG account, share the content to anybody who's anybody. And most importantly, Leave your thoughts and comments below. But I gotta go back and play Buddy in 2K, so let me unmute him real quick. Excuse me. Hey, boss, I'm back. Nah, you better catch this word. You know we get buckets around here, kid.